Wouldn't have been expecting to come in before lunch. Here he is in before drinks. The captain is gone. Ganguly has done his job. He's bowled very sensibly to Taylor and been rewarded with a nick. And he's overjoyed about it. Steve Waugh always strong off the back foot.
Yes, Renath just bowling a little bit too short here for Steve Waugh. Back on the back foot, punches it forward of point.
Ponting off the mark with a very good shot.
Now this is a very, very interesting move from Mohammad Azharuddin. Back inside the Eden Gardens rather than outside. He's given the ball to Sachin Tendulkar now. Should be looking for a couple here. Harvinder Singh, the substitute for Javagal Srinath, has gone on the field. He's got a very good throwing arm. Must be a disappointed young man this morning. He's showing a fair amount of spirit in the field. I enjoyed that. That was a superb shot. He had time to get into position, but that was traveling on this outfield like lightning.
Very bad delivery from Tendulkar.
And Mohammad Azharuddin has just succeeded in taking the ball away from Javagal Srinath's hands and giving it to Anil Kumble. We'll get 4 more. This is very, very good cricket.
Well, he's had 2 attempts where he's played over the ball. This time he just waits a little bit more, does Steve Waugh. And he knows the outfield is quick. He knows that Kumble is quite a fast leg spinner. So he only has to time the ball.
I'm just wondering if there's an inside edge there. Certainly from Kumble's and Monge's reaction, did look like there was an inside edge. Monge's had a great match at Chennai, but let's take a look at this.
First chance goes down this morning. Ponting going late, inside edge quite clearly into the gloves of Monge. Not an easy one for the wicketkeeper.
He's cut very well so far in this innings. Absolutely hammering that one.
It's very strong off the back foot. This is short. And Steve Waugh has ample time to pick the spot.
Well, the Australians will go to lunch at 67 for 4. Vast improvement on 29 for 4 as it was at one point. But India will be delighted with the first session in which their opening bowler, Srinath, took 2 wickets in the first over, 3 in the session, and he was assisted by Ganguly.
Welcome back to the Eden Gardens, where we've had an absolutely sensational morning. The scoreboard tells the tale. David Hooks made the point that it looks a bit like a bird sanctuary with all those ducks up there. Srinath was bowling the first ball.
And that's classic old Ponting. He played one off the gentle medium pace of Sachin Tendulkar just prior to lunch. Same shot, same result.
Yes, one thing he does love is a short ball. He's a good hooker. And he's right on this one early. He hits it through mid-wicket. Not behind square, it's in front of mid-wicket. That's how easily he saw that. And it wasn't really short as far as a bouncer was concerned. But it's not the place you want to be bowling to him, that's for sure.
And Venkatapati Raju will come on from the high court end. Nice gentle sweep by Ponting. Clever little shot because he's kept it fine for the 2 runs.
Yeah, it's pretty well played here by Ponting. Knew the man was fairly square. He just tucked it around fine. Pretty quick outfield here. It's fairly lush, but very fast.
And lovely shot. Flicked away again. There's another boundary. This time to Ponting, who slides across the off stump and flicks it off his legs.
Yes, Renath not too happy with that result. Pretty bad delivery here from him. Down leg side. Ricky Ponting just helps that on its way. Fine legs. A little bit square, couldn't cut it off. He's hit it pretty well, but it's a very quick outfield, like I said.
And that's Ponting at his very best. On the stumps and sliced across the line towards mid-wicket. And the crowd favourite allows 3 runs. And 8 runs from the Srinath over, 84 for 4. Gets dark very early here in the north east of India. Stepping away again. So a boundary, a 3 and a 2 consecutive deliveries to Ricky Ponting, just starting to find his feet. And lovely shot. Classical Steve Waugh, up on his toes, in the air for a little way, but once it gets past the infielders, it's always going to go to the fence. The outfield lightning.
Yes, it's just too short here, too much width. Steve Waugh back and smashing that one back with a point. No third man, so he's just got to get it through the gap, and it's on its way. But that one he's absolutely hammered. As you can see there, the trouble, he's bowled it wide and short, and that is just money for jam to good batsmen, especially Steve Waugh, back foot player. He just hasn't quite got it right to Waugh at all today. Srinath, he bowled well to everybody else, but Steve Waugh has just got his measure.
And that's perfect. There's a big appeal, no ball. It wasn't a genuine appeal. Now, whether it wasn't a genuine appeal because they knew it was no ball, or they're just excited it went past the edge.
Well, it doesn't really matter, but just as I opened my mouth about having his measure, that's what happens. But I don't think he hit it anyway, but we'll just see. There he goes. Good couple of inches over that front line. But that's the ideal delivery. You'll notice, like I said before, Steve Waugh's a back foot player. That one's coming forward. That's the uncertain zone for him. And that's all Srinath has to do.
And in the air, once again, that's the length that Jeff Thompson's talking about. He plays at the line and not the length that on many occasions Steve Waugh. Into the over, 95 for 4.
Well, Steve Waugh just having a chat with Ricky Ponting there. The last ball of that over, a bit flashy. You'll see here, just comes forward. He doesn't really have control of that ball, but lucky for him, it goes through the gap. Another 4, the result.
If you do bat for a couple of hours and play aggressive cricket like Steve Waugh and Ricky Ponting are, you expect the run rate to be pretty good, and that's another boundary. Just showing you how quick this outfit is. Steve Waugh just getting to it, not really following through or belting it past mid-off, just in fact steering it between the bowler and mid-off. So the end of the over, after this half-running shot. So that brings up Australia's 100. And it's been a tough call for them.
Saurav Ganguly bowled a wonderful first spell. 7 overs, 1 for 6. Almost like that. Got the outside edge and just short of Mohammad Azharuddin. Now, how close was that?
It fell short. Not the slightest doubt in my mind that it fell short. Steve was just pushing at a delivery which he could have well left alone. Yes, falling well short of Mohammad Azharuddin. He's got one of the safest pairs of hands in the business. Oh, well shot.
Sometimes wonder what percentage of his runs Waugh's got in that area. And what a shot to bring up Steve Waugh's 50. It's fairly appropriate that his most productive shot should bring up that score. What a shot. That is a superb cricket shot. He's picked the gap beautifully. It's almost surgically. Neither field had a chance of getting anywhere near.
Yes, and the beauty is that it didn't look as if it had been really hit very hard. This is very good timing here from Steve Waugh.
Oh, we saw Steve Waugh off the back foot. Now Ricky Ponting off the front foot. You couldn't ask for 2 better looking shots.
Half century to Ricky Ponting with that lovely extra cover drive.
There wasn't much joy for Australia in the first session, but the first hour after lunch has been a good one for Australia. 14 overs bowled, 60 runs scored, but that is the bad news for Australia. Steve Waugh having a bit of work done on his groin injury. It's going to be Rajesh Chauhan now. That's beautifully hit. Man, is it deep backward square, nowhere near that.
Yes, pretty effortless shot there from Ricky Ponting. A few Australian flags at the bottom of the screen there. And he's hit that one absolutely square, and it went like a rocket as well. That takes the 100 partnership. Hits this one very square. Only a couple of metres away from the bat, both fielders there. One at silly mid on, one at silly mid off.
Well, that's made him think about stretching out a little, having the fieldsman in close, and he's smashed that one. Now he's calling for something, looks like it might be a painkiller. Two pills to kill the pain, I think.
Either that or he's waving for another couple of legs, but he's absolutely hammered that. That's not what you want as a bat patter. Go up there and the bowler bowls a half volley.
Ganguly at deep backward square, and he's misfielded. That won't please the crowd or the bowler.
No, fairly ordinary piece of fielding there from Ganguly, the local hero. Ricky Ponting down the track, sweeping this one. He's hit it absolutely hard. Ball just bobbling before it got to the batsman. He took his eye off at the last minute, paid the price. It's hit his thumb, went on for 4. Very embarrassing on your home ground.
Oh, and he's gone right through him. Ponting won't be able to believe that. His favourite shot, the pull shot, and Kumble has whipped the top spinner right through him.
Yes, Ricky Ponting, the man to fall, trying to pull the top spinner from Kumble. This is the result. Shortish delivery, but just spinning through, takes the top of off stump. Ricky Ponting on his way for 60, a very good 60 for Australia. The 5th wicket to fall for 141.